Begin, though, this morning with those new developments overnight in the legal battle between former President Trump and the Justice Department over classified documents.
In a late-night court filing, the DOJ argued against Trump's request for a third party to review the materials taken from the former president's home. The department says that a so-called special master would impede an ongoing criminal investigation and endanger national security. The DOJ also provided its clearest indication yet that it believes there was an effort to obstruct the investigation, including concealing or removing highly sensitive government records. We're going to dig into that explosive court filing with NBC News Homeland Security correspondent Julia Ainsley and NBC News legal analyst Danny Cevallos. Good morning to both of you. Julia, let's start with you. The court filing says the FBI found 100 classified documents at Mar-a-Lago in a matter of hours, more than twice as many as Trump's team had voluntarily turned over earlier this year. What else did we learn?
Well, we learned that they had an awful lot of cooperation about where those documents might be before they even went in. This is really the most definitive rebuttal from the Justice Department to Trump's legal team to date. We're learning way more from this than we ever did from the redacted affidavit that we got last week or from the search warrant that was released shortly after the search. We're learning now about the volume of documents there, the highly classified markings they had, and a possible obstruction case. We got a hint of that obstruction case last week. Now we're told that they think that some of these materials, there were not only so many materials left behind after the lawyers for Trump swore in written statements that they'd handed everything over, but they also believe that some of these materials have been taken from a storage room at Mar-a-Lago and placed elsewhere in order to obstruct the investigation. They also say this is not just a matter of the former president not complying with the Presidential Records Act and not handing everything over to the National Archives. This is really a matter of national security because of the highly sensitive nature of these documents. In fact, it seems that some of these documents could even out sources of human intelligence, people who put themselves in danger around the world to be able to better inform the United States. They believe that's what's at stake here, and they think that if the court appointed a special master, that can not only delay and impede the investigation, but it could be that that person does not have the high level of security clearance that they would need in order to review these documents. They said even FBI agents had to get upgraded in their security clearances to be able to review these highly sensitive documents. So we're learning quite a bit here.
Danny, let's bring you into this conversation, and I want to pick up on what Julia was just saying about this potential obstruction. So that sort of changes things, right? I mean, at first, what she just mentioned about moving those documents, maybe even somewhere else. Also, a Trump representative potentially falsely claimed that all sensitive materials had already been returned. I mean, those seem like some serious allegations. How does that change things?
It is the government's definitive piece on the bad behavior of the Trump team in being asked to return these documents. And then here's a subpoena and they didn't get the documents. And then finally, they had to get a search warrant to get these documents. It is the old adage of you get what you asked for. It couldn't be more true here because the Trump team made this motion for a special master, which gives them questionable benefit, even if it's granted. I don't know how that even really helps the Trump team at this point. But DOJ took the opportunity to not only use the 20 pages they're allowed, but ask for additional pages from the court to essentially hit the Trump team over the head with a figurative folding chair of facts describing all the bad behavior that the Trump team engaged in not giving these documents back. I wondered why they needed those extra pages. They explained why this morning or last night when they explained all the delay tactics used by the Trump team.
I have to keep in mind, this is all coming from the DOJ. This is their argument. Julia, are we hearing it all from Trump and his team, even though this filing came late last night?
Well, we will hear from them today. They have an 8 p.m. deadline to file in this court their rebuttal to what we saw last night. But then we'll see a hearing also tomorrow that's scheduled to go before this judge, who's already hinted. She said she had a preliminary intent to grant the request for a special master in this case. But after seeing this very definitive, I love the figurative folding chair that Danny referred to, after seeing that, Will they now be in a tougher position going in? Might the Justice Department have swayed this Trump-appointed judge to maybe rethink not only whether a special master is necessary, but that maybe a special master could be damaging to this case? She's a fairly new judge. Could this be, her big moment, not only to maybe shine, but to actually get something wrong? Would she want to avoid making a misstep here and kind of muddling what's a very high-profile federal investigation?
We've got Danny on set nodding here. Jump in.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, for a federal judge, keep in mind the government makes a powerful argument for standing. Now, standing is this jurisdictional argument. It asks basically, what business is this of yours? And the point is that Trump is no longer the president. He doesn't have any interest in these documents anymore. They're not his. And it's quietly one of the most powerful reasons for judges to avoid deciding cases. And by the way, that might be a really good reason for this judge. This is a Trump-appointed judge, probably has political or even higher court aspirations. This is a great reason for her to dismiss without ever dealing with the thorny issues. When a court decides, hey, there's no standing to hear this, hey, it's not my fault. I just don't have jurisdiction to hear this case. It's a great political out for this judge. I think the judge initially was thinking, hey, in an abundance of caution, maybe I'll appoint a special master. Now maybe the judge is saying, ooh, standing. I don't have to deal with any of this. I won't be a Republican villain. I don't have jurisdiction to hear the case. It's a great out. DOJ did a great job pointing that out.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.